From players having mental breakdowns at the last hole, to genius plays that turned into total disaster. These are the 20 golf shots that ruined players' careers. All right, we need to talk about the simplest putt that ever destroyed a career. 2 feet, 24 inches of green grass between you and a green jacket. How do you miss that? Scott Hochs and Nick Faldo went to sudden death at the 1989 Masters after finishing regulation tied. On the first playoff hole, the par 4 10th, Faldo found the green side bunker while Hoch played it safe to the middle of the green. Faldo blasted out and missed his par putt, leaving himself a 4-footer for bogey. He made it. Now Hoch had a 2-footer for par to win the whole thing. He stood over it, backed off once to regroup, then stepped up again. The ball never touched the hole. He pulled it left. Just like that, the green jacket slipped away. Hoch made his bogey putt to stay alive. They moved to the 11th hole in near darkness. Faldo's tee shot went so far right he needed a free drop from a drain, but he recovered and holed a 25-footer for birdie. Hoch bogeyed. Faldo won his first Masters. Turns out the smallest distance, the biggest heartbreak, and Hoch never forgot it. Next up, Jordan Spieth stood on the 13th tee at Austin Country Club, facing Matt Fitzpatrick. The hole was a short par 4, and Spieth had a simple strategy. Pull driver, fly it up near the green, have an easy wedge in. He uncorked one-way right. The ball hit the car path, took a massive bounce, and launched over the grandstands like it had been fired from a cannon. And it didn't stop. The ball kept rolling onto the 15th green, where Patrick Cantlay was literally standing over his birdie putt. Spieth's ball came cruising across the putting surface, passing just feet from Cantlay as he stroked his putt. Cantlay looked up mid-stroke with a "what the hell just happened" expression. Because the ball hit the cart path, Spieth got a free drop about 50 yards away and somehow saved par to have the hole. He beat Fitzpatrick 3-1. Afterwards, Spieth joked about having to walk an extra 50 yards just to retrieve his ball. Of all the ways that shot could go wrong, landing on another green during someone else's putt might be the most embarrassing. There are holes that test more than skill. They test patience, judgment, and sometimes stubbornness itself. On any other day, the 6th at Bay Hill might have been routine. On this day, it became unforgettable. John Daly came to the par 5 6th hole in 1998, sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. The hole measured 543 yards with a massive lake protecting the left side. Every golfer knew the smart play: favor the safer right side, avoid trouble, and just make par. Not John Daly. He pulled driver and the ball hooked straight into the water on the left. On the next attempt, he used a 3-wood, again into the lake. The third swing, the fourth, and even the fifth all found the water, each shot drifting further left despite adjustments. His 7th shot finally cleared the water, but plugged in the hazard. After a drop, a 6-iron toward the green bounced off rocks and ricocheted into a bunker on the opposite side. 2 more shots and 2 putts later, he finally walked off the hole with an 18. Next up, this one's ridiculous. The guy did absolutely nothing wrong, yet still ended up in a nightmare. Ross Fisher found himself in a precarious spot. His ball came to rest just on the edge of a bunker, teetering on the lip in a delicate position. Not ideal, but manageable. He had a shot. Before hitting, Fisher did what every golfer does. Took a few practice swings near his ball to get a feel for the lie and the shot. He wasn't being careless, just going through his normal pre-shot process. Then, during one of his rehearsal swings, something bizarre happened. The ball suddenly started moving. Maybe it was the air pressure from his club whooshing past. Maybe the ball was so perfectly balanced on the edge that it was always going to fall. Whatever the cause, the ball trickled down the slope and rolled straight into the bunker, without him even touching it. Since Fisher didn't directly cause the ball to move, it was deemed natural forces. No penalty stroke, but he had to play it from its new position, buried in the sand instead of sitting cleanly on the fringe. Maybe take this video as a warning next time you hit some practice shots. Quail Hollow's finishing stretch is famous for chewing up rounds. The Green Mile doesn't forgive mistakes. Holes 16, 17, and 18 have a reputation all their own. Narrow fairways, treacherous bunkers, water lurking around every corner, and greens that demand perfection. One small misstep here can undo an entire round. For Rory Sabatini this day, it was unforgiving in the worst possible way. The cameras catch him in the creek at 18, feet on the rocks, ball in the water, and the clock ticking on his chances. He lines up, swings. The ball is teasing its escape, but then gravity takes over. Somehow what began with promise unraveled in one disastrous swing, leaving Sabatini stranded, stunned, and out of any realistic shot to recover. Next up, you can train for pressure, wind, even bad luck. But when your own body turns on you, there's no comeback for that. Charlie Hull was making a solid run at the 2025 Amundi Evian Championship, sitting at 1 under through 12 holes during the opening round. She was striking it clean, playing smart golf, exactly the kind of form that makes her dangerous in major weeks. Despite never winning a major, Hull had top 10 finishes in all 5 LPGA major championships heading into Evian. This could have been her moment. Then, near the 3rd green, she sat down beside a bunker. Something was wrong. When she walked to the 4th tee, she collapsed. Medical staff rushed over, gave her a 15-minute break. Hull tried to push through, she even managed to hit her tee shot. But seconds later, she collapsed again, this time being stretchered off the course on a golf cart. She later told reporters she felt faint and was struggling with her eyesight. Hull revealed on Instagram that she'd been battling a virus all week but thought she could get it out. But she didn't do it. In a sport where control is everything, moments like this remind you that some things are simply out of your hands. Some moments in golf feel smaller than they are, until the world watches and realizes just how huge they've become. One putt, one swing, one shot that could change everything. On the 18th green at the 2012 Kraft Nabisco Championship, IK Kim faced the most haunted moment of her life. Her first major title was within reach, just a heartbeat away. The gallery held its breath, the scoreboard waited, and all it took was a stroke. She stroked it. The ball pushed right, caught the lip, and stayed out. You could hear her heart break right there. Kim's hands went to her face in disbelief. How does a professional golfer miss when victory is this close? But she did. And instead of raising her first major trophy, she was forced into a playoff, one she would ultimately lose, as Sun Young Yu drained a 20-footer on the first extra hole. Listen, starting a major championship with an 80 usually means you're packing your bags early. Curtis Strange had other plans at the 1985 Masters. After that disastrous opening round left him 12 shots back, Strange clawed his way into contention over the next 2 days. By Sunday, he wasn't just in the mix. He was leading by 2 shots. At one point, he held a 4-shot advantage and looked destined for one of the greatest comebacks in Masters history. Then came the 13th hole. Thinking birdie on the reachable par 5, Strange went for the green with a 4-wood and dunked it straight into Rays Creek. That's bad enough, but what happened next was worse. He tried playing his next shot from the water and splash-chunked a wedge that barely moved. Bogey. 2 holes later at the par 5 15th, same decision, same result. Another ball in the water, another bogey. In the span of 3 holes, Strange went from having control to completely unraveling. Bernhard Langer seized the moment with 4 birdies in his last 7 holes and won the green jacket by 2 strokes. But somehow, the next disaster makes this look tame. Shanks usually hurt your scorecard, but this one nearly sent someone to the hospital. Aaron Rye's drive on the par 4 16th at the 2025 PGA Championship sailed right into deep rough at Quail Hollow, with a massive tree blocking his path to the green. He had 223 yards left and decided to punch one low under the branches. Fans gathered close to watch the escape attempt. Way too close, actually. Rye set up with a tight stance and ripped into it. The ball rocketed straight into the tree trunk at waist height, then ricocheted back toward the gallery standing just yards away. But wait, look at this guy in the blue shirt flinching as the ball zipped past. Had that ball missed the tree, it would have drilled someone at full tour-level ball speed. Nobody got hurt, thankfully. Rye finished the round at 1 over 72 and made the weekend, and the fan in the blue shirt probably needed a minute to catch his breath. Tiger Woods arrived at the 2020 Farmers Insurance Open chasing history, trying to break the all-time PGA Tour wins record with his 83rd victory. Tory Pines was his kingdom. 8 wins there, including that legendary 2008 US Open on a broken leg. If anywhere felt like destiny, it was here. He started the final round 5 shots back, knowing he needed something special. After a sloppy bogey on the first hole, he took dead aim at the par 4 second from 141 yards. Perfect wedge. The ball took 2 hops, tracking straight toward the flag, then disappeared completely into the cup. Eagle, game on, Tiger's back. Except the ball didn't stay down. It went all the way to the bottom of the cup, then somehow hopped back out and settled next to the pin. Tap-in birdie instead of eagle. That set the tone for the entire week. More missed eagle chances. Putts that wouldn't drop. The kind of frustration that builds when perfect shots get punished by physics and bad breaks. Tiger finished T9, 6 shots behind winner Mark Leishman. The man who owned Tory Pines for decades couldn't catch a break when he needed it most. Right shot, wrong result. Story of the tournament. Next up, Keegan Bradley was cruising through his round, birdies stacking up, confidence high. Then he reached one of Quail Hollow's notoriously slick greens. The kind that expose every weakness in your short game, and everything fell apart. First putt, short. Didn't even sniff the hole. Second putt, blew it past. Now he's farther away than when he started. Third putt, missed from close range, the kind of distance where tour pros supposedly never miss. Fourth putt. Oh my gosh, finally! What should have been a routine par turned into a complete collapse on the green. For a guy known as a competitive putter in tough conditions, this was brutal, especially with cameras rolling and his role as US Ryder Cup captain putting extra eyes on every move. You know what makes golf absolutely brutal? You can do everything right for 71 holes, control the tournament from start to finish, and still watch it slip away because of something you couldn't see coming. Tommy Fleetwood started the final round of the 2025 Travelers Championship with a 3-shot lead. By the time he reached the 16th tee, he still led by 2 shots. His first PGA Tour win, the achievement that had eluded him through 159 career starts, was 3 holes away. Then a bogey on 16 cut the lead to 1. On 17, he scrambled for a clutch par to maintain the advantage heading to the last. On the 18th, his approach landed on the front edge 40 feet from the pin. Not ideal, but manageable. His lag putt came up 7 feet short, right where Keegan Bradley had already stuffed his approach to 6 feet. Fleetwood's 7-foot par putt looked good off the putter, then it wasn't. The ball appeared to hit a ball mark and darted right, missing by inches. Bradley stepped up and drained his 6-footer for birdie. 2-shot swing on the 72nd hole. Victory snatched away by an unseen imperfection in the green. Right now, Fleetwood's record is 42 top 10 finishes on the PGA Tour, with 0 wins. Next, a nightmare that isn't easy to forget. Leading by 2 with 3 holes to play at the Open Championship is supposed to be your moment. For Thomas Bjorn at the 2003 Open, it wasn't anymore. The Great Dane had controlled Sunday at Royal St. George's, extending his overnight lead and looking every bit the major champion. After a birdie at 14, BBC's Peter Allis called it the shot of the champion and praised Bjorn's quiet confidence. A bogey at 15 trimmed the lead to 1, but he was still in control heading to the par 3 16th. Then everything went bad there in the sand. His tee shot leaked right into the greenside bunker. Not a disaster, decent lie. Plenty of green to work with, or so we all thought. In his first escape attempt, he didn't hit it hard enough. The ball rolled back to his feet. In the second attempt, same result. Back at his feet, now plugged in his own footprints. Third time, Bjorn finally got it out and made the putt for double bogey. 3 shots gone in 2 holes. Ben Curtis, the unknown American, was suddenly tied for the lead and sitting safely in the clubhouse. All right, leading a tournament at Firestone is one thing. Hitting a 9-iron onto the clubhouse roof and walking away with just a bogey? That's another. Tiger Woods was cruising through the second round of the 2006 Bridgestone Invitational when everything went crazy on his final hole. From the right rough on the par 4 9th, his 9-iron jumped from the grass, sailed over the flag, cleared the grandstands, skipped off a path, hopped a balcony, and finished on the clubhouse roof. A kitchen worker spotted the ball near the service area, tossed it in a cart cup holder, and drove off, not realizing he'd just taken Tiger's ball mid-tournament. Meanwhile, Woods waited nearly 10 minutes while officials argued about where it even ended up. A laser finally confirmed the landing point, 97 yards from the hole. And thanks to the grandstands blocking the line and the clubhouse not being out of bounds, Tiger got a free drop. He wedged on, 2-putted for bogey, and walked off shaking his head. Turns out the world's #1 was also the luckiest guy at Firestone. Next up, links golf in Scotland brings strange bounces, deep pot bunkers, and weather that changes every 5 minutes. But sometimes it serves up something so bizarre that even the rule book struggles to make sense of it. Sam Burns found himself in a fairway bunker on the par 5, 10th at the Renaissance Club during the 3rd round of the 2023 Genesis Scottish Open. He was 8 under, charging up the leaderboard, and decided to go aggressive with an iron toward the green. He caught it thin. The ball screamed into the bunker face and should have dropped straight back into the sand. Instead, it just hung there, defying gravity on the sod wall like it was glued to the grass. Poor Burns had no choice but to look down in defeat. But then he thought, hey, there has to be a ruling. So he called, and what followed was over 10 minutes of debate between officials. Could he get relief from the sod seam? The answer, no. The ball hadn't embedded in a seam that would interfere with his swing, so he had to play it as it lay. From an impossible stance, Burns took a hack. The ball hit the face again and bounced back into the bunker. He eventually made triple bogey 8, killing his round completely. Links golf at its cruelest. Next up, sometimes the hardest shots aren't from 200 yards out. They're from 5 feet off the green. Nacho Elvira's tee shot on this par 3 sailed long, burying itself in thick, gnarly rough just beyond the putting surface. Standing over the ball, he took a few practice swings, and you could sense it, he knew this wasn't going to be simple. The grass was thick enough that a normal flop shot might not even move the ball forward. So he made a decision. Grab the most lofted wedge in the bag, open the face wide, and swing with serious aggression. Commit hard, trust the technique, get it on the green. He took a full rip at it, but instead of popping up and out, the ball just sank deeper into the rough. One stroke gone, and he's now in an even worse lie than before. So he was now in the second attempt with a different strategy. This time he ditched the hero flop and went old school, hit the ground before the ball, let the club do the digging. It worked. The ball finally escaped and rolled onto the green, leaving him a putt to salvage bogey. But what happens when the unlucky moment doesn't just cost you a tournament, it costs you everything? Or worse, when it all comes down to whether a piece of plastic was installed correctly. Joe Daly was grinding through the 4th round at the 2000 Q School final stage at PGA West when the par 3 17th hole turned into a nightmare. His tee shot found water. Penalty strokes piled up. Now he faced a 4-footer for double bogey. Daly hit it dead center. The ball rolled into the cup, hit the back, and then, impossibly, popped straight back out. He threw his hat down in disbelief. What just happened? Turns out the cup inside the hole was slightly askew, probably from someone yanking the flagstick out at an angle. The ball hit the top edge of the misaligned cup liner and jumped back out. Because of that, his score on the hole went from a potential double bogey to a triple bogey. Then, a bogey on 18 sealed it. After 108 holes, he finished at 14 under, just one shot shy of the top 36. He never made it back to the PGA Tour. One faulty cup installation, one stroke. The difference between a career and what might have been. Next up, here's a situation where the only real enemy is stubbornness. Pablo Larrazabal was cruising through his opening round at the 2019 Made in Denmark tournament when the par 5 11th hole decided to test his judgment. His third shot found a greenside bunker and buried itself deep. Not just buried, the ball was deeper into the ground than most caskets. The lie was brutal. Ball plugged against the bunker's edge. Stance awkward, feet uneven in the sand. Just enough room for a backswing, but zero space to swing through. The smart play screamed at him, take an unplayable, drop somewhere safer in the bunker, lose one stroke, and move on with your life. But Larrazabal is a fighter, and he decided to go for it anyway. He set up over the ball, tried to muscle it out with a half swing aimed at the only sliver of escape route available. The club hit the wall of sand first. The ball barely budged. It popped up an inch, caught the bunker edge, and rolled maybe 5 inches to the right. Same nightmare lie. Just slightly worse positioning. One wasted stroke. Still in the bunker, still unplayable. Now he had to take the drop anyway, except he'd burned a shot trying to be a hero first. Next, we're at Augusta, where perfection feels close, until a single swing proves it's nowhere in reach. Jordan Spieth approached the 12th tee at the 2016 Masters with a 5-shot lead, and the entire golf world watching him chase back-to-back green jackets. He had just birdied 4 straight holes on the front 9, a dream start that should have sealed it. His 9-iron tee shot came up short and found Rays Creek. He took his drop 80 yards from the pin with a wedge in his hands. But nobody expected what happened next. He chunked it fat, the divot nearly as big as the shot, and watched the ball barely clear the ground before splashing into the same creek he'd just dropped away from. 2 water balls in less than a minute, from the exact same spot. His next shot found the bunker. He made quadruple bogey 7. He went from 5 shots ahead to 3 shots behind in 12 brutal minutes. At the end of it, Danny Willett won the Masters. Speith had to put the green jacket on him hours later, looking more miserable in a green jacket than anyone ever has. Even the greatest had the worst weeks, and this is how a single rules decision can turn an ordinary round into a historic failure. It was 2013, and Tiger Woods showed up for his first event of the season, getting paid millions in appearance fees, ready to kick things off right. But it went wrong fast. He bogeyed the first hole, bogeyed the second, a par 5 where he should have been scoring. Then, on the fifth hole, his tee shot went right into the desert sand and vegetation. The ball was embedded, so Tiger called over playing partner Martin Kamer to confirm and took a free drop. Problem was, it was a sandy area, meaning no relief allowed. He should have played it as it lay or taken an unplayable lie penalty. A writer following the group asked a rules official, and European Tour referee Andy McPhee confirmed the violation on the 11th hole. Tiger battled back with birdies on the back nine and thought he made the cut. Then came the penalty, 2 strokes added to his card. Final score changed from 73 to 75, putting him at 3 over for the tournament. 1 shot outside the cut line. He hit just 11 of 28 fairways and 19 of 36 greens across 2 rounds. The first time Tiger ever missed a cut in a European Tour event. Now, you watch someone self-destruct so spectacularly that you start questioning whether golf is actually a cruel psychological experiment disguised as a sport. Jean Van de Velde had spent 4 days at Carnoustie building toward his moment to hold the claret jug. He'd become only the 2nd Frenchman since 1907 to win the Open Championship. Just make a 6 on this par 4 and go home a major champion. Instead of laying up with an iron, Van de Velde pulled driver. The ball sailed right, somehow avoiding the burn and landing safely on the 17th fairway. Lucky break, but it is not over yet. He then grabbed a 2-iron trying to reach the green, and the ball rocketed toward the grandstand, where it bounced back, fell into the berry burn, popped out, and ended up 50 yards from the green in thick rough. From there, disaster multiplied. His pitch shot from the horrible lie found the water again. The ball sat barely submerged in the burn, and Van de Velde actually took off his shoes and socks, rolled up his pants, and waded in to consider playing it. After taking a penalty drop, his 5th shot came up short in a greenside bunker. He holed a 7-footer for triple bogey just to force a playoff with Paul Lawrie and Justin Leonard, and Lawrie won.